Hello everyone, and welcome back to WolfQuest, and we are here with Kaya and her mate Courage as they try and bring their puppies successfully to the summer hunting grounds. And so far so good, we have all four, but anything can change, and even though this is pretty easy, that doesn't guarantee that it will be pretty easy. We had that really scary cougar incident a few episodes back, and yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean everything will go well. And before we really get going, I just want to give a quick PSA. I've been noticing on some of the videos that there are some quality issues, so it seems a lot blurrier than I thought it would be with my recording settings. So please, if you're noticing quality issues, and I'm talking about the HD settings, there will be lowered quality on the lower settings, but if you're running it in any of the HD settings, if you're noticing quality issues, please let me know and at what time so that I can review the footage on YouTube versus the footage on my computer, because I'm not sure if YouTube is having a problem with the video or if my recorder is capturing it wrong. And oh good, Courage is gonna bring Nakora to us. Okay, so I just, with that quick PSA in mind, I just wanted to let you guys know and just check in with that. So if you notice quality issues in the videos, please post it in the comments, let me know. Make sure other people haven't posted the same thing already so we don't get a lot of duplicate reports. But give me the time in the video when you started noticing the quality issues. By quality issues, I'm talking about blurriness, I'm talking about, it's been doing this weird thing where the grass texture seems overlaid over the screen. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or what, but if you're noticing any sort of weird quality issue, just post in the comments, say, hey, I noticed something at this time, and I'll go check it out on YouTube versus on my computer. So anyway, that aside, welcome back to WolfQuest, and I'm just hoping this will go well. There's no guarantee it will, but hey, we can hope. So, I usually do live streaming on Sunday, and we actually did again. Oh, here comes an eagle. I actually just did a live stream this last Sunday, and that was a lot of fun. So, most of my live streams do happen on Sunday, so keep your eyes out. If you didn't get to see the live stream, it's well worth going back and watching. We had a lot of fun, and we actually followed Kaya's older brother, Apollo. But, if you do have the chance to go watch that live stream, it is well worth your time. I really enjoyed it. I think it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it too. And if you didn't get to make it to this last live stream, check in, because next Sunday we may be doing it again, depending on... Holy moly, we did not even get a warning. But yeah, check in on Sunday afternoons, because I usually do a lot of streaming on Sunday afternoons, depending on... It all depends on if my voice is doing okay, because I record for several hours every day of the week other than Sundays. And so then if I go and live stream for 3 hours on a Sunday, it could kill my voice. So if my voice is doing okay, though, I usually start live streaming on Sundays. So keep your eyes peeled. We may start doing a midweek one too, but that's not for sure. So, but just keep your eyes peeled, and I usually announce it on my Twitter. Can't remember if I did it this time, but if you are subscribed to the channel, it should notify you. So, so yeah, if you didn't get a chance to tune in this time, don't worry, we'll have more live streams in the future, and it's definitely well worth your time if you do get the chance to. I had a lot of fun, seems like you guys had a lot of fun too. But today we are here in our main series with Kaya. Those bushes are scaring the heck out of me, because that coyote just like bolted out of them. But so we are currently trying to get her puppies safely to the summer hunting grounds, and hopefully we will be able to do that. And Kaya's ability actually is that if a puppy dies on the journey, she can say she used her expertise and knowledge of the wild to be able to rescue the puppy. And so she does have a second chance. If a puppy dies, she can reload the nearest save or autosave to rescue that puppy. Now, it's not any sort of a weird mystical revival thing. All we're saying is that she is skilled and knowledgeable about the wild and was able to save a puppy from what would have been an otherwise fatal blow. Zona, I'm looking at you. Because honestly, my prediction is if anybody goes down this time, it's gonna be Zona. After that cougar incident, we love you, Zona, but you're kind of an accident waiting to happen sometimes. So, we're gonna be keeping a very careful eye on her and on her siblings this time around. And hopefully we won't have to use Kaya's ability. We didn't have to last time, but there's no telling what could happen, and especially after Apollo's story. So if you don't want Apollo's story spoiled, you might not want to listen to this next part. You might want to skip ahead just a little bit. But we learned in Apollo's story yesterday that he actually made a very serious mistake in regards to the Stranger Wolf pack in the south. And that was the pack that already was not on good standings with this pack, because that pack was the one that attacked Kaya and nearly killed her when she was a puppy. So they already haven't been on good standing with Katari and Tarrell and their descendants, but Apollo went and made things worse. He went to challenge the Stranger Wolves last time on Amethyst Mountain, the same wolves he actually met and dominated the wolf that actually did attack Kaya. He found her in Amethyst Mountain, but he also encountered her mate, and when he encountered her mate, he just meant to put him in his place, but it got into a little bit more of a tussle than he expected. It turned into more of a serious fight, and in an attempt to defend himself from the Stranger Wolf, he accidentally killed him, or so we thought. And that put us in very, very bad standings with the Stranger Wolf pack. Only we actually found out that apparently we didn't kill him. Somehow we thought he was dead, but apparently his mate nursed him back to health. But they aren't too happy about what they perceive as an attack on one of the pack leaders' lives. And this is, of course, all story. Real wolves don't have this much complexity. There is oftentimes a lot of animosity between packs. They avoid each other, and if they catch each other in each other's territory, there's a good chance there will be trouble. Good job, Courage. Yeah, Bring Zona. Oh, and he pushed Akora over too. That was awesome. But for the sake of the story, we personify our wolves a little bit more. So that has put us in very, very bad standing with the Stranger Wolf pack in the south. And it very well could have an effect on future wolves, on our heirs, perhaps even on Kaya's story, even though we're staying as far away from that pack already as we can. On other side stories, it could affect Kaya's heirs' stories if the animosity continues between generations. It could have a lot of effects. So I don't think Kaya at this point knows what her brother did, but she might find out. And I think Apollo has learned that he probably should have just left well enough alone, because he unfortunately caused more trouble while he was trying to solve the problem. He just meant to put him in their place and say, hey, you stay away from my family, I will defend them. But he ended up, at least as he saw it, accidentally killing a wolf. Thankfully, the wolf didn't actually die, and I'm sure that was a bit of a relief to Apollo, because he didn't mean to cause any permanent damage. He just wanted to put him in their place and say, hey, stay away from my family. But it didn't exactly go to plan. So we'll have to see if that causes any problems in this series for Kaya and her heirs potentially. So, but that's about it for the spoilers. So if you guys are tuning back in, no more spoilers from this point out. If so, I will warn you again. If there are any more, but hopefully there won't be. So, but if you haven't seen the stream yesterday, I would highly suggest you check it out. It's pretty worth your time. And it's a very fun thing. It's kind of long, but it is very fun, and especially if you get the chance to tune in live. But enough about the streaming. Let's focus on our puppies. And hopefully we'll be able to get them to the summer hunting grounds. Probably not this episode, but next episode. We still have a little ways to go. But we are getting there. Slowly but surely we are getting there. And I don't like these bushes at all, because I feel like something's going to come bolting out of them at us. These bushes really, really scare me. We're going to go ahead. Courage just brought Willow to us. And we're going to kind of edge our way this way, but we don't want to get too close to that river or not the river, the little pond area, because if we do, the puppies won't want to follow us. And they'll start getting stuck. So we kind of have to keep a little bit close to the bushes, much as I don't like it. And some people have said, oh, you can just turn your vegetation density down. Yeah, okay, I could do that. But that's, for one thing, that feels a little cheaty, because in real life, wolves can't do that. They they just have to roll with what happens. They can't say, oh, these bushes are in my way. I just don't want to see them anymore. Nope, the bushes are still going to be there. So we could turn down the vegetation density. I'm not going to say it's bad if you do that in your game, but for our game, I think we should just stick to the settings that we have right now, because that makes it a little more realistic, and it does add a challenge, as scary of a challenge as it can be. We're going to feed everybody to full health. Make sure everybody's full. Zona, don't walk away. Don't walk away from me when I'm trying to feed you. Zona, I love you, but really, honey, you are going to get yourself killed one of these days. Oh my goodness. Either she's going to die or she may be immortal. Pretty much. No, I joke, but oh my gosh, yeah, Zona is a little bit of a terror sometimes. She doesn't mean to be. She's just very accident prone. Are they stuck? They're kind of caught between the two waters, I think. They don't like the river, and they don't like this little water up here. They're meant to, they know to stay away from the water. So they kind of do weird dancey dodging around little things, because there used to be an issues in 2.5, the old version of WolfQuest, where the puppies would just like go straight into the creek and drown themselves. And so this is meant to help with that. But are you gonna bring someone to us? He's gonna bring Zona. Good job. Good job. I think even Courage senses that Zona gets herself into a lot of trouble. Okay, wait, do you have 4 names? I was concerned for just a second, because 2 of them were pretty close together, and I was like, wait, are we missing a puppy? But no, we're okay. We're okay. I probably vastly overhunted this as well. But it never hurts to be safe, because you never know when we're gonna have something like Tapio almost drowning and having to use up almost all of our food supply in a very short amount of time. So you never know when something like that could happen. Things can go awry, so it's always good to have a little extra as opposed to too little. Let's just make sure we're almost there, almost to the carcass. With Kaya, I tend to stand back a little bit. I couldn't do that as much with Apollo, because he's a little bit more of a tanky wolf. What do I mean by tanky? He had 80% strength and 20% speed. Kaya is almost the exact opposite of that. She is extremely fast, but she doesn't do a lot of damage. So, with Apollo, there was no guarantee we could get in there fast enough if something happened. And let Courage is bringing us midnight, so we couldn't afford to stand back as much. But like with Kaya, we can run in very fast, and we'll just grab Zona and bring her over to this carcass, and the others will catch up here in a minute. So with Kaya, it's a lot easier, because there is it's much more likely that she'll be able to get there quickly in the event of an emergency. So with Apollo, it wasn't all that likely. We had several scary moments, no spoilers, but there were several scary moments where his lack of speed almost did get us into trouble. So, his strength certainly did do us a lot of favors, and, but yeah, he wasn't all that fast. So we'll be staying a lot further back with Kaya, because that actually enables us to get a better view of the surrounding area, so we can see better if something is coming. If it runs up like that coyote did, we have space to get in there and intercept it, rather than it's already at the puppies because we were standing so close to them. So it all depends on your wolf, the strategy you use, and maybe some of you have different ideas on the strategy. Everybody tends to play this game a little bit differently. This is just what I've found works for me. So let's just make sure. I still hear hunting music. And there is the next carcass. It's up here. I'm going to steer up this way a little bit, so we're further away from the water. And we're going to take the normal route, but with our other side story that we're currently running, Myra's story, we will actually be crossing back there and going around by the cliffs, and hopefully Flair will not decide that he wants to bring the puppies around this way, because that could be pretty disastrous, but we'll have to see what happens. They're not quite to the point of having to start the journey yet, though, so it's going to be a little bit. And in terms of the side story, so you may have noticed that one of our series has kind of gone missing a little bit. If you guys are a fan of our Wolf series, do not worry. We will be back following Lightfall once again in Wolf, but the way I'm going to do it is because of all of our series, Wolf is the one that Wolf is the one that's not doing quite as well. Now, it's still doing pretty well. I'm not saying I'm going to stop the series or anything. But what we're going to end up doing is we'll end up alternating it with our WolfQuest side stories. So we'll have Myra's story. Once that wraps up, hopefully it'll conclude about the same time as we'll be starting Kaya's third litter. And then what we'll do is we'll follow Lightfall through Kaya's third litter, and then when we go back to Kaya's fourth litter, oop, our carcass is up here. I walked right past it. But when we start with Kaya's fourth litter, then we'll be switching back to Flair's story, and then once it comes time to choose the year, we may have a side story in between, just depending. But once it comes time, we'll probably run a side story over about a week where you guys will be able to choose the heir. And that will be the wolf that we follow. So, but over that week, we'll run another side story. And in that time, we'll be going back to following Lightfall. So his story and our wolf series will just switch off with the WolfQuest side stories. So usually it's on about a weekly basis. So for 1 week, we will have WolfQuest. For the next week, we'll have Wolf. And then, of course, our main WolfQuest series will be running in the background. If that makes sense. Hopefully, I'm not overloading you guys with information. I'm just trying to explain, because I want you guys to know what's going on. And do not worry, Wolf will be returning. It's just on pause for this week or so that we're following Myra's story. Hopefully, that'll make sense. If you have questions, you can always ask in the comments. But yeah, it's not that I'm going to stop the series. I really like our Wolf series. It's just not quite, it's not doing quite as well. And so from a business standpoint, because in a way YouTube is a business, especially it will be more of a business in the future, I hope. I would love to make this my livelihood, but from a business standpoint, I can't afford to put quite as much time and effort into the things that aren't going to be providing as much return. So if you really like Wolf, the best thing you could do for the series is actually spread the word and say, hey, there's this cool series, I really like it, but we need more support for it, and maybe at some point it will be a full-time series again. But for now, it's just going to be part-time. I don't want to quit it entirely, I really do like it, but the other thing is, too, at some point, the trouble is that I'm seeing is we're starting to get more games than I can play all at once, because I'm already recording 4 episodes in a day pretty much. And that's about an hour and a half of talking time. Hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, depending, or not so much of talking time, but of the time it takes to, that's a moose. That's a moose. But of the time it takes me to put it together, it can take as much as 2.5 hours for me to get all these videos put together, all of them uploaded. It's quite a bit. It's quite a considerable amount of time. So, I have to try and focus, because, time is money, they say. I have to try and focus my time where I think it will have the most value. And so, especially as we look into possibly playing more games in the future, like there's, that Cattails game you may have heard of is coming out soon. I think it's coming out in April, I want to say. Don't quote me on it. But Cattails is coming out soon. There's another game called Fugle that's coming out soon that I may start playing as well. I really would like to. Some of you guys have told me there's a cool dinosaur game I should check out. I'm always on the lookout for new games, but the more games we have, sometimes we have to start prioritizing. Once Dog Sled Saga is back, then that will be something we have to consider. There's a moose where we need to cross the river. That's fine. It's a very weak moose. Gosh, if this wasn't Kaya, I'd almost be tempted to go after it, but this is Kaya and she doesn't do all that much damage with one bite. So, are you gonna leave us alone? Can you leave us alone? We need to cross the river. We just want to do so in peace. We just want to cross the river in peace, Mr. Moose. Thank you. Thank you, please. Please, please, please. Just stay away from us. We don't want any trouble, Mr. Moose. Mr. Moose, don't walk at me like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that attitude, sir. You're kind of worrying me. Oh, let's bring Zona right up to the edge of the river if we can. Is this where we have to cross? This is indeed where we have to cross, just from one area to another, one of these gravelly areas to another. Good, he's gonna walk off. So, pretty cool to see, though. But yeah, we will have to start prioritizing series, especially as I start playing more and more, because there's only so much I can do in one day. You guys have heard me, if you've seen any of the streams, by the end of it, my voice starts to die. By the end of it, my voice is cracking and getting really gravelly, and my throat starts to get sore, so I can only do so much in one day. That's why we haven't had quite as much Forgotten Worlds. We've been focusing on some of the other series. That one's kind of, I'll probably try and record that one today, though. But, you know, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and there's only so much I can do, only as I'm only one person. Much as I wish I could do more, there's only so much I can physically accomplish. So if you guys really like Wolf and you want to see more of it, then show your support and spread the word, because I want to be able to do the series that you guys want to see. And right now, I mostly gauge it off my analytics, and judging from my analytics, Wolf is probably our least popular series. Now, I do really enjoy it. I do definitely want to keep playing it. It just might end up being less frequent. We might take breaks. It all just depends. So let's bring Midnight across. There we go. Get him up here. Where is our most... Okay, our carcass is over there. Courage has gotten to Cora. I think if we run back across, it won't be as much of an issue. What was that back around? And we'll bring Zona across. And put her... We'll bring her a little further up the bank, because I don't think Midnight's going to move on his own. Zona should be able to. I think we... Oh, yeah, here comes Midnight, and then we'll let Courage go get Willow. And we will come over to Nikora here. So, and then after Courage gets the puppies across, we will probably break for the day. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into what I'm thinking with that. Let you guys know some of what's going on with our other series. So, if just in case you guys have been wondering. But I think that'll wrap it up for today. So I will see you guys later. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.